Hey Josh, so I'm thinking about doing some patches for hats. I don't know what I'm doing. I Googled it. All I can find are nicotine patches. I need some help.
Yeah, man, you don't want patches for your arms. You want patches for your hats. Let's get into it. What design do you have, man?
Yeah, so I had a few questions first because I don't know what I'm doing. First, what size patch do I even want?
So, it all depends upon what you're wanting to put it on. If you want to put it on a hat, our general rule of thumb is you don't want to be taller than 2.5 inches, and you don't want to be wider than 4 inches. 2.5 by 4. Now, if you got a hat that's like a little bit bigger, we can go bigger, but you really don't want to go too much outside of that parameter. Do you think your design will work for that?
Yeah, let me give you my design. I have a few in mind, but here's the one that I'm thinking of. What do you think?
Okay, cool, yeah. So when I open it up on my computer screen and I shrink it down, looks like it would fit within that parameter. I think you could probably go, as small as like 3 inches wide. You can go as large as 4 inches wide. So it really kind of depends upon your preference there. One of the best things you could do is just get a ruler, put it up to your hat and see what size you want to do. But I think within that range, it would work. So looking at your design, you do have some tie-dye background on there. Really cool, big fan. But that might be tough to do in any other style than like dye-sublimated. I got a couple videos that I could send you on that, but are you familiar with the different styles?
I have no clue what I'm doing.
Okay, all right. Well, we got a bunch of videos that we're gonna be sending to you so you can watch them. You can check those out. But if you want to keep your design exactly as is, my 2 recommendations would be like doing just a straight dye-sublimated patch. That's where we print onto fabric. Or we can do like the tie-dye background and we can do the actual text in embroidery. Give it a little bit more texture, it'd be pretty cool. What are you thinking about that?
I think that sounds good. So what I was really thinking of though, have you ever ran your finger across an Eggo waffle? You know how it has texture? Can I do texture with the patch?
Yeah. So that would be like that embroidery. So if you want to keep that design exactly like that, we'd want to be doing that dye-sublimated background with the embroidery. If you're okay losing that tie-dye background, we could do a solid and just do straight embroidery. Or we could even do like a leather or a PVC patch. With those, we're gonna lose that tie-dye background, but those really give you some depth because with PVC, we're making a mold. Your logo, the text will be raised up off of that background. With leather, we hot stamp, so either we can raise your letters and recess the background or recess your letters and raise the background. That's really gonna give you some feel to it.
That's awesome. So I really like where we're headed with this. How do I get these darn things on a hat though?
Another video for you. I've got a bunch of them there. Kind of depends upon what you want to do. So the 3 main ways that you're going to do it. You're going to do sewing them on, you're going to use a heat press, or you're going to use hook and loop backing. With the hook and loop backing, you would still be sewing the hook part of the hook and loop backing on. So if you want to have them sewn on, we could do no backing or adhesive backing. We recommend adhesive because it makes it a little bit easier. You can stick them in place and not have to hold them. Sometimes they like to move around a little bit, but you don't have to do that. You can do it with no backing. If you do want to use a heat press, definitely want to do iron-on heat seal backing. If you try to do a heat press with adhesive, you're just going to make a mess and you're going to be calling me going, bro, what happened?
Hook and loop. Is there another name for hook and loop?
There is. I'm legally not allowed to say it, but it rhymes with smell crow.
Interesting. Okay, back to the game plan. Let's get down to brass tacks. How long is it going to take for me to get these patches?
So first what we'll do is we'll figure out, what different style. If you like PVC, embroidered, dye-sublimated with embroidered, I'm going to get you quotes. I can do multiple quantities. 50 is our minimum, but if you want to see like 50, 100, and 200, give you that on the quotes. Then you're going to decide which route you want to go. Once you've decided that, then we mock up the artwork. Send you some proofs. If you have any questions about the proofs, you let me know. Once we have a finalized proof and you go, okay, that's the style, I approved the proof, here's my money, then we go into production. And from that point, on average, I'm looking at about 3 to 4 weeks or so. If we need them a little bit quicker, we can, but would that time frame work for you?
I think so.
Cool.
But it all depends on how much they cost, Josh.
Hey, devil's in the details, my friend. And that's why what we want to do is we want to get all of these settled. What backing you want to use, the size that you want to use, the style. Then I give you official quotes. On average, from what we're talking about, dye-sublimated with embroidery, embroidered PVC or leather. Generally speaking, embroidered without dye-sublimated is going to be the cheapest. For 50 of what we're talking about, low 200s. Dye-sublimated, mid 200s. Dye-sublimated with embroidery, upper 200s. PVC, mid 300s. Leather, upper 300s, low 400s. Ballpark, just to give you a frame of reference.
This is awesome. You provided a ton of information. I will take 1 million patches, please.
Might take a little bit longer than 3 to 4 weeks, but let's do it. And I'm telling you, man, the easiest way, just put in a quote request. Here's the link. Do that. Go to our webpage, put in your information, upload your design, all of that, and then we can get you official quotes, get that process started. That's the easiest way to do it.